Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We are here for Monday market moves, what happened last week in the markets, and what I expect for next week. Alrighty, let's go to the charts. Starting out as always with the S&P 500. So we hit a new all-time high on Monday by a few bucks, new all-time high of 57.68. My bias for next week is to the upside. I think we'll probably hit another new all-time high next week. I don't know how high this could go. That's a very bullish looking chart, getting a little stretched in the technicals here, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if we get up to 6,000. Kind of a nice round number before we start rolling over. Got a question here from AMP. He says back in 2007 when the S&P topped out. Okay, let me go to the 2007 here. There we go. Back in 2007, when the S&P topped out on October 11th, but precious metals and mining stocks continued to go higher until mid-March of 2008. So what I'm going to do here is, so this is October 11th, 2007. I'm going to add in here, I'll just add the Huey, and we will get a new price scale. There we go. Okay, so, and actually, let's make this yellow so it's easier to see. So you guys can see how I'm doing this and overlaying one chart with the other here. Alrighty, so right here, October 11th, the S&P topped out. And let's see what the Huey was down here. So if we just follow this over to the right here, we can see that at the same time frame, the Huey was 410. We'll just call it 400 to make it easy. And then the Huey didn't top out until March, like AMP said, way over here. And we got up to 516, right? So that's about a 20% move. While the S&P 500 is bleeding, the Huey is making money. And he says, what's your opinion on if the stock market tops this year? Precious metals go down with it, or another scenario like 2007? Okay, so let me take this off, and then I'm going to go to the Huey here. And basically what I see, I've plotted this for the Huey. And basically what these percentages are is when the Fed started cutting rates back here in 2007, the Huey had a run up of 58% from the moment that they started cutting rates, not the moment that the S&P 500 topped, right? So it had a run up of 58%, that had a massive sell-off here of 70%. And then after that, from the bottoms, we had a huge run up of over 330%. Then if we go to 2019, same scenario. The Huey ran up 35% from when they started cutting rates. Then midterm, it about halfway through cutting rates, it dropped 44%, and then had a massive run up from the bottom to the top of over 160%. The thing about these two is this is when QE was invented, quantitative easing, and the Fed just increased their balance sheet like crazy. And that, I think, is what had a lot of this run up here. There was a liquidity crisis, and I think that's what led to this massive run up. And the massive drawdown here was margins being called, and they had to sell anything that had a bid, in which case in here the Huey does. And I think that we're going to have a similar scenario this time. I think that gold stocks, even though the Fed is cutting rates, I think they'll continue to go up. And then mid rate cutting cycle, when the recession is doing its worst and the Fed is cutting like crazy, I think they'll do the same thing. I think they're going to increase their balance sheet. I think they're going to print money. And when more dollars are in existence, it takes more of those dollars to buy the same barrel of oil or the same mining stock. So I think we'll continue to have a little run up here, although immediately I think we're going to have a little pullback in gold. But I think we'll have a run up followed by a massive sell-off, QE from the Fed, and we are off to the races. So I really like having a cash position as we're entering into this recession, and I think that we should probably be increasing our cash position maybe to like 25%. I think I'm at 22 right now, the last I checked. All right, and the dollar is still trading in the box. I really thought that we're going to finally have a breakdown here of the dollar. That did not happen. The dollar shot up, closed the week at 102.48, up 2.1% for the week. The yen actually got weaker. Last week it was 142. Now it is 148. And the Chinese renminbi, or the yuan, whichever one you want to call it, that one is finally bleeding off now and getting weaker compared to the dollar. So this spike right here was China's stimulus and sending all of its mother's money for every child they have minus their firstborn. And now we're getting a little correction. So this was a little short. I thought this would last another week or two, but it looks like it's pretty short-lived, and now it's starting to correct back down. I fully expect the Fed and central banks around the world to do the same thing, and I think this is only the beginning of the stimulus party that is coming for all central banks. Yeah, I think it's coming, and it's coming hard. This one surprised me. The long duration debt is paying less than it did last week. So approaching that zero line, although, you know, we may bounce around here or something, but I fully expect us to get out of upside down clown world and remain in normal times. And the 1 month treasury is no longer paying north of 5 anymore. Closed the week at 4.85%. Midline is going to be 4.83. So I expect it to just hover around there, plus or minus a few fractions of a percent. This one also surprised me. So, well, it didn't surprise me that that it went down, but it surprised me that long duration debt isn't paying quite, or is starting to pay more than it was. Maybe this is just emphasizing that I'm not a bond trader and I shouldn't pretend to be one. But as the Fed continues to cut rates, I think that the price of this will go up. And gold is flat for the week. Well, we're actually up $1, I think. Last week it was 26.68, and this week it's 26.67. So we made $1. Congratulations. Starting to show a little overbought here. RSI is starting to roll down. We're down below that yellow line right there, showing a trend downward. So I would be pretty shocked if we don't have some correction here in gold. I went over last week how stretched we are on the monthly RSIs and how infrequent that happens to get that stretch. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see 2550 gold, possibly even down here. There's a lot of support down here around 2400. So I would love some pullbacks to there, and then we can double down on some of our gold stocks. And gold divided by the S&P 500, basically still flat. Last week, this was 0.465. This week, it's 0.464. So the S&P slightly outperformed gold. GDX divided by gold itself, they underperformed by 2.2% for the week. So gold did slightly better than the miners. CEF is up 0.9% for the week. This is your physical bet on gold and silver that you can do through the stock market. 1/3 of this bet is silver and 2/3 of it is gold. GDX is down 2% for the week. I started putting in these green and white lines. So like these green lines down here are levels of support and possible buy zones. Although I don't think I would set a limit order for it down there. I'd want to see what it looks like on the charts. You know, if it's just knifing through that, you don't want to buy it here when it's going to go all the way down to 33 or something. But I'm going to start putting these white lines in here. So top resistance up here, 41.61. I must have really gotten into the weeds there. And support down here is at 36. GDXJ also down 2% for the week. Got support down here at 44, resistance up here at 52. Franco, Nevada, getting a little bit cheaper here. Got a rising 200-day moving average. We have increasing volume. This is looking pretty good. I would be really surprised if it got down here to 114 or 115 where I got the green line, but I think a buy anywhere around this rising 200-day moving average is pretty good. Technicals, as you'll see, the RSI is at 41, which is not fantastic. But if it gets down to that 200 moving average, I think it'll be in the 30s. Wheaton Precious Metals is down 3.4% for the week. Got resistance up here at 65. Some pretty major support down here around 52.50. I don't really see any buys. I mean, if you're a trader here, maybe you could put in an option for it to, but yeah, no, never mind. I wouldn't do that. And Gold Royalty Corporation down 0.7% for the week. Nice technical support down here around 121. I don't really see any buys right now, but I like limit orders down there at 121. I've got a limit order down here for 120. Maybe I'm just being cheap, but you know, anywhere like 125 or so, I think is pretty good. And Origin royalties down 4.6% for the week. I removed my sell order up here for 120, and a lot of this had to do with a Adrian Day's comments in the Rural Classroom Plus. If you want to hear more about companies like this, then go to the Rural Classroom. The Rural Classroom is free with a lot of free content. We can see it right here. We are up to 8,935 members. Join us there. There's more content on this website than there should be. After that, if you're a serious investor, then join us over here for the Rural Classroom Plus. So this week, Adrian Day gave a spectacular presentation on junior royalty companies. We went over Gold Royalty Corporation. We went over Metalla, Altius, Origin, EMX, Empress, just to name a few. We had him live for 2 hours. He did his presentation, then took questions for an hour and a half. It was invaluable. The Rural Classroom Plus is only $30 per month. And when you really think about how much you're betting on these companies, that's basically free. Links are in the pinned comment below. All righty, and Barrick Gold is down 0.6% for the week. Got resistance up here at 21, took some profits week before last, not a whole lot. I can't remember what percentage it was. I think it might have been 10%. Got support right down here at 1850. That's where I see a nice little level of support. Got some gaps and stuff down there that I think would be a nice entry point. And Newmont is down 1% for the week. Resistance is up here around 55. Support, major support that I see is around 42. That's going to be rising here as the 200-day moving average goes up, but technicals are pretty stretched on all these gold miners. I don't see a whole lot of buys right now. And Agnico Eagle is down, what is that? 3.6% for the week. So pretty stretched technicals. All-time high is going to be up here around 88. Close the week at 78.82. Got some initial support down here around $73. And B2 Gold, after a run like that, you usually have some kind of pullback. It's probably still a deal now, down 2.2% for the week. Like this level of support at $2.85 a lot. Stink bid at $2.50, although I don't think it'll get there unless we get a pretty good pullback in gold. Equinox Gold. Now, this one is a new one. So this one's down 7% for the week. I've been looking at this one for a while, and I was a little concerned. There were some labor disputes going on that I don't know if they're going to get resolved or not. I mean, eventually they will. But they had some labor issues at Los Filos. But Adrian Day brought it up in the classroom call. And this started a chat in the Rural Classroom Plus among the serious investors. And previous guest Jordan Roosh came out with a 30-minute video on his channel. So check out Mining Stock Monkey and take a look at his latest video. And he summed it up way better than I could as to why I made a purchase here and a stink bid down here at $5.25, which I do not think will hit. But if it does, I will be stoked. I'm in. All right, G Mining Ventures is down 1.9% for the week. Got resistance up here at $7.90. Support down here around $6, rising 200-day moving average, looking fantastic. Probably won't get to $6 unless we get a serious pullback in gold, but love this company a lot. This might be one of my favorites. And Rio 2. This is awesome, up 4.1% for the week. Financing is secured. Got two little stink bids in here for 40 cents and 35. Just really hoping we get gold to come back down to like 2,300 and then these should hit. But we are into construction phase and they're at the time of the year where they can start construction. You know, remember this is at 14,000 feet, this little miner here. We're finally in the black on this thing. I mean, I've been in this for over 3 years, and just because this was my biggest buy down here, finally turning a profit. But yeah, I like this one a lot. And remember Lobo Tigre's work on the pre-production sweet spot. If you haven't read that report, I highly recommend it. If you guys are betting on these explorers and developers, which is probably almost everyone watching this show, you know, do your brokerage account a favor and check out his free report. In that report, Lobo calls it the greatest discovery of his career. Lobo outlines the ideal time to enter these companies and exit them. So check that out in the link below. Lobo will be back on the show at the end of the month. And silver is up 1.8% for the week, breached like a whale the 33 level and got up to 33.23, and then it dove back down. So highest weekly, monthly, and quarterly close since 2012. So what is that? Over 12 years. A lot of resistance around the $32 mark. And yeah, we need to breach 35 on, if we get past 35 and we close above 35 for like 3 weeks in a row, I think we're going to 50 pretty quickly. Now I have some little, let me go to the 30-minute time frame on this one and check this out. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so if you go to the Daily Golds podcast, Jordan and Vince did a recent episode, and they recorded, and he only had these 2 boxes drawn so far because I think they recorded on Tuesday or Wednesday. But basically what he's saying is if you look, I started this, the left side of the boxes start at 5:30 in the morning, and then the right side kind of ends when after the spike. But he was saying that this is pretty much almost certain to be retail investors in the United States. And so we have massive retail buying, then probably the big institutions selling back to them, and you get a drive down. Then we go here, same kind of thing, massive buying, spike, and then come back down. Now this one had massive buying spike and then slow drawdown, massive buying spike, and then slow drawdown. So pretty interesting action here, and that would, you know, go to say that it kind of looks like American retail is getting into the silver market, which is pretty cool. And gold to silver ratio, it was 84-1 last week. Now it's 82.35 this week. So silver is outperforming gold. SIL is down 0.9% for the week. Sold a little bit week before last. I expect this one to do really well during the silver bull market, but you know, it wouldn't surprise me. If gold gets hit, then silver is going to follow, and it's going to get hit as well. So I expect to see a little correction. I'd like a limit order down here. I think maybe around $30 or so. I mean, watch it when it gets there, but you want to try to catch this upward channel 200 moving average. SILJ is down 1.7% for the week. Got some pretty nice support down here around $11.25. Major support down here around $8. We're not going to see that again. But if it approaches that $11 mark, I think that's a pretty good entry point. And Pan American Silver is up 0.3% for the week. I had a sell order around 24 for first to trim the position. I removed that, and my first sell order right now, like idiot proof one, is going to be 28. But we do have a lot of resistance around $24, so we got to chew through that first. And Fortuna Silver Mines, Fortuna Silver, up 1.5% for the week. And we have, let's see, limit order around the 200-day moving average around 430. Yeah, so same thing for all these silver stocks. They're pretty stretched in the technicals here. We want to see it correct back down to the 200 moving average. But just kind of anywhere around that point, I think is decent. But remember, as silver is falling, then this is just going to blow through that. And SILV up 4.75% for the week. Awesome. We're past the point of concern on this. In other words, we have this one for free now. This is pretty awesome. My main concern with this one was, what do they do next? This mine is mines are a diminishing resource, and they don't have another one. They're a one asset company. what happened this week solves that. So Don Durrett did a great tweet about this. I think summed it up perfectly. If you guys don't follow him, go follow him on Twitter. Subscribe to his free newsletter. It says, many of you are going to ask about this Core Silvercrest merger. Here's the outcome if it closes. So Core and Silvercrest are going to merge, assuming it goes through. He says, number one, Silvercrest had a pipeline problem, what I just talked about. In other words, they didn't have one. And Core had a cost problem. They were too high. Both got fixed in this merger. Core is now a monster. He says, I already had it ranked as the number 2 silver miner. They just got better. If you own either of these stocks, you just got handed a present. And we like presents, so that was fun. Number 3, you want to be overweight Hecla and Core. Why? When sentiment finally improves for the gold and silver miners, these stocks will benefit in a huge way. Wall Street, ETFs, hedge funds, and private equity will buy them like candy. They are the go-to names. So normally these stocks do poorly in bear markets, thus they have a bad reputation among investors. However, they do remarkably well during bull markets. Both are sharks and will continue to do acquisitions. So maybe this one's kind of like G Mining Ventures, just, on pullbacks, get on the train. But yeah, like this one a lot. Super stoked on this merger. I really hope it goes through, and we'll just be along for the ride here. How do you find these big deposits, these big tier 1 deposits, and then bet on them before everyone else like we did back here? I'll tell you how. You join us for the Tier 1 Asset Boot Camp with Rick Rule coming October 19th. Rick will be putting on a lecture, or a boot camp, as he calls them. The boot camp will focus on Tier 1 deposits, unknown and under-owned world-class deposits with 10x opportunities in the 3 to 5 year time frame. Imagine putting $1,000 to work, and 3 to 5 years later, you've got $10,000. Those are the kind of gains we're talking about. And for $99, you can learn how. Your brokerage account will thank you. Link is in the pinned comment below. I will see you there. Endeavor Silver is up 5.2% for the week. I think a stink bid down here around $3. Hopefully silver gets whacked and you'll get a chance to do that. But look at how stretched the technicals are right here. RSI is at 65, no buys right now. Copper, paging Dr. Copper, down 0.5% for the week. I think I'm going to take Brian London's advice on this one. And basically, I was debating trimming some profits up here, especially week before last when it just shot up to, $4.80. And, I don't think I'm going to trim and try to trade copper. I was debating this, we've had a nice run here, but I'm just going to continue to add during the recession and on pullbacks and, adding along this upward channel white line here. And even as it gets cheaper, I'm looking at this as a 5-year bet, kind of like I was looking at gold as a 5-year bet, 3 years ago. We're 1 year into this copper bet. I think we have 4 to go at a minimum, probably 10 years. COPX down 0.6% for the week. I said resistance was at 47. We went through that. So basically 53 here is just touching right back on that. We do have some resistance like basically now. There's a lot of gaps here, I think, that need to get filled. So I'd like to see this one correct back down, maybe first limit order around $42, but I think the real stink bid that's nice is $38.50. And COPJ is down 1.4% for the week. Still like limit orders around 21 and then 1950 right down there, but super stretched technicals, don't see anything now. And K-Squish says, Steve, you really need better copper companies. My picks are Freeport and Southern Copper. Okay, well, here's Freeport. Probably should be including these. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Does anyone else own Arizona or Mondero, or am I just talking to myself whenever I bring these ones up? Okay, so Freeport is, what are we, down 1.5% for the week. I like a stink bid down here of $40. Hopefully copper gets whacked and you'll get a chance at that. But look at the technicals here, 65 on the RSI. But this company does pay, dividends, not very good, just north of 1%. And Southern Copper. Now, I asked Rick about this one a while ago, and he just started talking about other copper companies. So I never looked into it anymore. I used to own it and then I sold it. I didn't, that was on some previous trading software, so I don't have the arrows here when I did that. But yeah, I just never looked into it more than that. If you guys follow this company, let me know. And same with Freeport. And maybe I'll start including them on the regular. But as far as an entry here, this is kind of what I see as a stink bid. See, you got this gap here, you got this gap back there. Usually those gaps get filled. But maybe a limit order down here around 101 or 100 on that rising 200 moving average. And Arizona Metals down 11.4% for the week. Limit order for 121 finally hit, and then I wish it didn't because I could have had one down here for like 108. I haven't seen any news on this one. Maybe Dave was right and they're working on raising cash right now and the market sniffed it out. I don't know. If you guys know what's going on with this one, put it in the comments below. And Maduro Capital down 5.5% for the week. It's a little disappointing. I thought this one would be a little more leveraged to copper just because we've had a nice run up in copper recently, but Maduro's done nothing but go down. And I asked Adrian about this one, and he basically confirmed that because the market cap is so small, I want to say it's like 12 or 14 million. Okay, 13.9 million, close enough. And he said basically because it's so small, you know, you need like a big fund or something to really get this thing moving. He said basically the name of the game with this one is patience, and you know, you're essentially waiting on BHP to hit a massive drill hole, and then this thing will just re-rate overnight. So I'm patient, and I got a stink bid down in here for 9 cents. Not that it'll hit, but hopefully it will. And uranium is up 0.8% for the week. So we're closed the week at 82.55. This is fantastic. U308 divided by gold is up 0.8% for the week. So uranium outperformed gold slightly here, but yeah, I think that just kind of anywhere along this green line. I mean, if you wanted to swap some gold for U308, I honestly don't think now is such a terrible time. I don't know that I'd do it with SRUUF because they're finally trading at almost a premium. But, you know, little moments like this are pretty incredible. I think I may have seen this chart. I think I saw Steve Penny bring it up on Silver Charters. So a shout out to those guys there. There's a link down below if you guys want to join us over there. I don't get anything out of it, but I really like that community a lot. A lot of very smart technical traders. Shout out to those guys. And SRUUF. Okay, now this is pretty cool. We are up 3% for the week. I'm going to go to the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust website. We'll just call it not trading at a discount, 0.02, but we have added 200,000 pounds of U308 unavailable to the utilities. So if you guys are trading this, remember when it was at an 18% discount? If you're just using that to store some cash, I think that, you know, this is kind of what you're looking for if it's a trade. This is the time to sell, okay? Now, caveat here, I have about probably 40% of my uranium portfolio is just in the physical uranium. And a lot of that is because during the recession, I think our equities here, like, you know, Cameco and all these ones, URNM, are probably going to get hit and get hit pretty hard. But I don't think that the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust really will. I mean, there may be some you know, liquidation here as people try to clear their balance sheet for margin calls, but all that's going to do is give this a massive discount, and then we can simply play the game again and buy more and trade it. But you know, I think this one is the safest bet that there is when it comes to the uranium trade. So that's why I've got so much of my uranium portfolio in that one. Not as much upside, but I think we got a pretty safe floor. Cameco up 8% last week. Just absolutely killed it here. Just look at that. You had a huge gap up here, which will probably eventually get filled. But it looks like it's just kind of obeying that 400-day moving average, you know, or at least trading right around it. So I think You know, there's some serious support down here around 36. I wrote 35 as a stink bid. We got close enough. And yeah, off to the races. And Kazatomprom up 3.5% for the week, still trading in the box here. Now, caveat here, only 25% is available to us, 75% is owned by the state of Kazakhstan. They're pretty much selling all of their U308 to China and to Russia. So I'm not sure how long we as American investors are going to be allowed to take part in this and just collect 8% dividends from this company every year. Once we get closer to the top end of this box, like has happened, you know, I don't know, once a year or so here, I think I may be exiting stage left. As good as the company is, that just makes me nervous. And especially if Trump gets into office, I think that could really be on the table. URA is up 4.2% for the week. Had this nice double bottom and then just off to the races like all the other equities. Resistance is going to be up around 32 and stink bids will be down here around $23. URNM up 3.6% for the week. Got resistance right at this white line around $49, and that just kind of lines up with the 200 moving average right there. Super stretch technicals at 68. Remember, we want to be buying this when the RSI is down in like the 20s and 30s, not when it's up in the 60s and 70s. But anywhere along this green up channel trend line, I think is a buy. URNJ up 4.2% for the week. Stink bid down here at 1650. Resistance up here at 31. We actually have quite a bit of resistance where we are now. So if you're a trader, I think now is a decent time to take some profits. URNM divided by U308 itself outperformed this week by 2.8%. So the equities are working. And the juniors, URNJ divided by Cameco, Kazatomprom, and the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust underperformed 1.2% for the week. Hit up here on some resistance and then shot right down. UROI up 6.5% for the week. Again, resistance is, well, I said last week it was at 250, blew through that. So next level of resistance that I see is going to be probably, we'll call it 270. That looks like quite a bit of price action there. Yeah, probably around 270 is the next level of resistance. But stink bid down here at $1.90. Some people watch the Qs. We watch the Us up 2.2% for this week. Got nice support down here at 430. Resistance up here at 650. And basically just right here at this 200 moving average, which is going to be at $6. I should probably take this off. Actually, that was a option that expired worthless. So no real point on having that there anymore. UEC, our little darling, past the point of concern on this one. This one is absolutely free. Kind of wishing I would have bought some more down here around $4, but I could see straight looking backwards. This one is up 8.8% for the week. So we got resistance basically now, and then again at 750, and some major support down here at $4.25. Oil is up 9% for the week. So when you're lobbing missiles around shipping lanes, people get nervous and oil goes up. I think a lot of this is the missile premium. We'll see how things iron out over there. I've been watching reports on it. You know, it seems to just kind of like slowly and generally being progressing. So we might have some major disruptions there. We shall see. Gold divided by oil was 39-1 last week. Now it's 36-1. So it takes 36 barrels of oil to buy 1 ounce of gold. Oil drastically outperformed gold this week, and that's why the chart went down. And XLE, our favorite oil ETF, is up 6.9% for the week. We had a death cross last week, although I don't think that's going to mean squat. Because it just shot right past that. If this continues, then we'll get a golden cross just a few days later. So anyways, major stink bids down here, 83 and 79.75. And then major resistance up here at 94.50. If oil continues to go up, that little white line isn't going to mean a thing. Exxon Mobil, all-time high. Pretty impressive, up 7.9% for the week. I see no buys here, but yeah, like this one a lot. Getting really stretched in the technicals here. RSI is 69. Chevron up 3.6% for the week. So I put that entries on this one and Occidental. I like around the rising 200 weekly moving average. So you see this purple line right here. This is the rising 200 weekly moving average. I think any entries around that would be like, I don't know, what is that? 140, 142, something like that. And then Occidental, same kind of thing on the weekly chart. Just seems to be being caught right here by this rising 200-day moving average. Occidental's up 9.2% for the week, so it looks like Warren Buffett knew what he was doing. I like any entries right along there. And Blackstone Minerals is up 2.3% for the week. So we had some resistance around 15 or so, blew through that. We got a dividend coming here in November. This company pays amazing dividends. You know, if you got them like down around 15 bucks, it's almost 10%. So pretty incredible. Love this one. Freehold Royalties up 1.3% for the week. They also have fantastic dividends. They just pay you 9 cents every month. And we got support. I just put this idiot line right here, the $13.50. If you just have like dollar cost averaging in around that point, I think you're going to do very, very well. Natural gas is down 1.6% for the week. I thought natural gas would move up last week, and it did Monday through Thursday, and then Friday just proved me wrong. So looking like natural gas is going to start to roll over a little bit. Caveat here, we do have a golden cross right here, the 50 moving above the 200-day moving average, but as stretched as the technicals are here, RSI is starting to slope down. I would be pretty surprised if this continued up. I think we're going to fill this gap and go down next week for natural gas. Devon killed it, up 8.9% for the week, finally catching a bid here. This is awesome. Got in some limit orders down here at $39.20. It even got cheaper than that. It got into the 37s, although I didn't catch it. Woodside Energy up 6.7% for the week. Hopefully found a bottom here. This is pretty awesome. Got some support down here around $16.50. Resistance right about now. Birchcliff Energy is up 6.2% for the week. We still got our limit orders set. So we got one down here for $3.96. Kind of wishing I just would have went $4 because then I would have got it in back here. And then we got the stink bid down in here for $3.55. Paydo is up 6.5% for the week. Yeah, support right down here at $9.50. Got a limit order in for $9.75. Although hopefully we get a pullback here in natural gas and then we can get a little bit more. This might be a little bit too cheap. Maybe I should have it up around $10.50. And next week we have Elliot Gue is coming on the show. He's an energy expert and has been studying the energy sector for over 2 decades. Get your questions in: oil, gas, coal, and uranium. So if you go to the YouTube channel page and then you click on this community tab right here, go right down, submit your questions for Elliot Gue. So please do me a favor and keep all your questions to one comment. And if you think of a question you would like to add later, please edit the comment by clicking the 3 dots to the right of it. You'll save me a lot of time sorting through the questions. Thank you for playing. Interview is on, when is it? Wednesday next week. So what I mean here is, like when you put comments in down here, let me go to the comments. If you click on this little thing right there, then you can edit your comment. This isn't my comment, so I can't edit it. But if it's your comment, then you'll be able to edit it, and then you can add it in from there. That keeps, from one guy having 4 different comments that I have to sort through and then later cut and paste. If you can just all keep them to one there, it saves me a lot of time. So thank you guys for doing that. And thank you for playing. Thank you for putting in your questions there. I really appreciate it. It saves me a lot of time. And then it gives me, lets me know what you guys want to hear. Coal is, thermal coal closed the week at 149, so getting up towards the upper range of this, which is pretty sweet. Met coal is shot up to 221 a ton, looking awesome. Our favorite coal ETF is down 0.1% for the week, but I think we're going to play a little catch up here. Not that you can really trade this thing, it's only 10.9 million assets under management with 470,000 shares, but I do think it'll play catch up next week. So something to think about. Glencore is up 0.2% for the week. I also think this one will play catch up. Got our stink bids down in here for $9.40. Resistance is going to be $12. AMR is down 3.2% for the week. Again, I think a lot of these will play catch up. I updated this box here. So our new time frame long shoulder season here, if you even want to call it that, is down 58% from February to September. Hopefully that was the bottom, and now we'll start a slow grind up. Stink bid will be 185 for AMR, and resistance is going to be 151. Warrior Met Coal is up 1.1% for the week. So yeah, resistance up here at 66, support down here at 52, although I doubt we'll see that again. But stretch technicals, I don't see any buys now. BTU up 1.6% for the week. I was talking about and thinking about taking a put, and I'm really glad I didn't. Maybe I'll entertain that next week. We'll see, but it does look like we probably got a little bit more upside for Peabody. And platinum down 2% for the week. We are now above the rising 200-day moving average, which is fantastic. Have been above it for a while. Got a little baby golden cross here, so the 50 went down below and then came right back up. I wouldn't look too much into that. Major support down here at 900, resistance at 1,050. PPLT is down 1% for the week. I think limit orders down here around $80 and $75. I don't think 75 will hit, but 80 might, so limit orders down there. This is a long-term hold. We just got to wait for Russia to stop selling it. We got to wait for South Africa to have some kind of hiccup with their power grid, which seems to be happening daily. And then this will really, really do well. And Palladium is down 2.4% for the week. Got support down here around 900 and then again around 860. Resistance is going to be 1100. And PALL, same kind of thing. Limit orders around $80. We have resistance at 100. SPPP, both platinum and palladium in one easy to buy fund. Thank you, Sprott. Resistance at $10.25. First level support, $9, and then below that, major stink bid down here at $8.25. I should probably raise that up to like $8.60 or so. That's probably not going to hit. And platinum divided by silver, still insanely cheap. You can basically trade a kilo bar of silver for 1 ounce of platinum. And let me go out to the long-term chart here, and we can see how ridiculously stupid this can get at times. I mean, back here in 0304, it took 150 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of platinum. I'm just looking for a double here. If it goes to 60, or maybe a triple up to 90, I think that would be pretty sweet. But I don't know how much longer this is going to be this cheap, but it is right now. And nickel futures up 5.7% for the week. So it just shot up here. Pretty exciting. Resistance is at 19,000. Support is at 15,700. NIKL actually went down. So I think we're going to have a little revalue here this coming week. Down 1.7% for the week. And again, this one is also not a tradable fund. It's worth 11 or 12 million, I forget. But there might be a little catch up here coming, and I think there will be. And Centaurus Metals up 13.5% for the week. So I'm not sure what's been happening the last couple of weeks with this. If any of you guys know, let me know in the comments below. Got some resistance basically where we are now, 38 cents, quite a bit of technical resistance. Small market cap company. I'm not sure how much you can really go by that, but it is there. Stink bids at 21 cents. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's just a delayed reaction to their biannual report that came out almost a month ago. That could be it. And iron ore is up 4.75% for the week. Thank you, China, and your stimulus. Basically got support down here at 92. Resistance, kind of where we are now, maybe 110, 111. BHP down 2.3% for the week. Sold this option for a 37% gain way too soon. I wish I was psychic and would have sold it up here around 62. I would have made a heck of a lot more money. Don't see any buys right now on BHP. See how high we got on the RSI up here, up into the 70s, just starting to roll over. I would expect BHP to correct back down. And Rio Tinto down 2.2% for the week. Support down here around 60. Resistance up here around 70, 72. Pick, our favorite mining and metals ETF. Nice support down here at 36. Resistance is basically now at 44. I'd like to see this correct. All these gaps get filled. We can call these the China stimulus gaps right here. Once those get filled, then we can entertain some buys again, but super stretched RSI. The time to buy was when we were talking about it back here and back here. And this one's a new one. If you like fertilizer, you'll probably like Nutrien. Up 3.25% for the week. So as I see it, if you know about this company and you research it, I asked Rick about this one a couple of years ago. I remember asking him about it over here when everyone was asking me about this company. And he basically said that he's been in this thing forever and he is way long on it, not interested in getting any more. And the decision of what to do with this company will probably be decided by his estate. Now, since then, it's come down quite a bit by about 50%. So, this might be worth a question to Rick on. I'm not sure. But as far as entries right now, technicals are a little stretched. Next level of resistance is going to be $52. I like that $45 mark a lot. And Bitcoin down 5.8% for the week. Closed. I just looked at this like 40 minutes ago and it's already gone up by like 1,000. So take that for what it's worth. I've been calling for lower highs and it looks like that might be happening with a couple of exceptions right there and back there. This kind of looks like a bull flag to me. I'm not sure if it is or not, but if it is, then we'll be going to the upside. If it's not, then we're going to keep getting lower highs and just chugging back down. I'm not really sure. I'm not very good at analyzing this technically. I think my odds of success here are like 25%, so you're better off flipping a coin. All righty, well, I hope you guys got something out of that. Love having you guys here. Thank you for all the questions and thank you for always tuning in. Be sure to support the show and share this with anyone that you think needs to hear it. It's probably your buddy that can't stop talking about tech stocks. You have yourself a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you next time.